The world population has been skyrocketing, going from 2.5 billion in 1950 to 7.6 billion today. That is over triple the population in just 68 years. However, future projections see the population only reaching 11 billion in the next 100 years. So why is that? Why did the population grow so suddenly, and why is it stabilizing again just as suddenly? In order to answer those questions, we will need the Demographic Transition Model, or DTM. This model is used to describe how a nation's population has changed over time. There are 5 stages in the DTM. Stage 1 is the high stationary stage. Both the birth and death rates are high, keeping the population low. This is what all countries were pre-industrialization, and there are no more stage 1 countries. This graph is what's known as a population pyramid. It shows the amount of people within each age group in a country divided by gender. Stage 2 of the DTM is when the birth rate stays high, but the death rate begins to fall. It's called the early expanding stage. This is caused by improvements like in medicine, education, and technology. Some stage 2 countries are Afghanistan, Guatemala, and Yemen. This stage sees rapid but unstable growth, which brings us to stage 3. In stage 3, the birth rate begins to fall. There is still quite a bit of growth, but it is far more stable at this point. It is called the late expanding stage. This stage begins with further advances in education and gender equality. The majority of countries are currently either stage 3 or 4. Some notable stage 3 countries are Mexico, South Africa, and India. Stage 4 is the low stationary stage. This is the point when the birth rate begins to near the death rate again, and the population stabilizes to a replacement level of 2.1 children per woman, or very slight growth. Stage 4 is marked with more and more people migrating to cities, societal shifts towards smaller families, and usually very strong economies. China, Argentina, and the United States are good examples. A stage 4 graph trends towards a more rectangular shape. Stage 5 is the latest stage in the demographic transition model. We don't know if there's any stages after that, as no countries have made it past stage 5, and the countries within stage 5 are only in the beginnings of it. This is called the declining stage. This is when the birth rate falls below replacement and is surpassed by the death rate. This stage can be caused by things like people waiting longer to have children or only having small families due to the cost of raising multiple kids in a city. Greece, Japan, and Italy all find themselves in the beginnings of this stage, and unfortunately, we cannot know exactly how this stage will play out, as it is still relatively new development. A large number of countries entering stages 2 and 3 are how the population exploded so rapidly. And stages 4 and 5 are the answer to how the population can stabilize so quickly as well. As we've learned, it is the natural progression for a nation's growth to stop or even recede. However, this raises new concerns. Instead of how to combat overpopulation, it is now how do we deal with a declining population, and what happens when the working population is smaller than the retired one.